Welcome back to another Broken Arrow Press Match review. This is number 11, I think. It's the third night of multiplayer matches that I played, and this was the second one in the third night. I just am coming in off the back of a match I quite enjoyed playing with Airborne Infantry, and I felt like I was ready to try SOF again, so I'm going to start the playback here, and we're going to get straight into it. On my team, I have Stealth 17, NBK, Zetrox, and Kestrel. The enemy team has Chancellor David, Tushonka, King Chief, Vulcan HD Gaming, and KY6AHB. I'm placing my map marker down on the north side, on my left side of the map, going over to where there's a bunch of woods and buildings. There's woods and buildings on both sides of this map, to be clear, but I think that the side I'm going on is the more close quarters-y side. I guess both sides can be played pretty close quarters, but if I get a look at the actual cap zones. Oh, they've changed things up quite a bit, haven't they? You know, I didn't really notice this. Oh, is this really airborne? Oh, that's sad. You know, I'm excited to review this and look at the SOF units, but I didn't really notice till now because I only went on the left. I only played this map the one time on the left. It's like unrecognizable from the previous MP beta because now the right side looks so different. You don't really fight over the hill, it looks like, on the cap zones. I know it's not on screen right now. Doesn't look like there's the hill cap zone anymore, and there isn't the one in the town anymore. That's sad. I really like this map. I really like that part of it. I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm really hoping that they feel, brave enough to have the bit wider map sizes and map layouts again for the full game. Because I really like that part of this map. I thought it was like a lot of its personality, that fight over the hill and the town over there on the right side. I'm really sad that's basically gone, with the cap zones there being gone. Anyway, we'll see how we go on release, won't we? For now, I'm bringing in some helicopter infantry, bunch of special tactics teams, Rangers Recon, and some Rangers in a mix of Blackhawks, Ghost Hawks, and Little Birds, I think. Yeah, I got some regular Blackhawks there, because the Silent Hawks, the Ghost Hawks, they're stealth, but they cannot carry supplies. So you need the regular Blackhawks if you want to bring cargo or, I guess, airlift vehicles of any kind. My team is covering my helicopter insertion with their interceptors there. Thank you very much. I think that was an F-22 they just lost on the left, unfortunately. But I'm going to bring in one of my Eagles now to try and help plug that gap, which is nice. We get a kill. And then there's an Mi-8 to take out. Hell yeah. This is what the air fight is all about. That helicopter, oh my god, the one-shots, damn. That helicopter is what the opening air fight is all about, trying to stop that. Just like they would have been trying to stop our helicopters. Oh, a bit of a bug there, too, where these guys aren't, like, dropping properly, which is a little bit annoying. A little bit awkward, but we'll fix it up. Those one-shots! Gotta watch out for those one-shots. I think I say it every time it happens to me in these videos now. It's like, really gotta watch out for those one-shots. I'm used to the one-shots not really happening in this game. I forget if I've said it before, I forget if I'm being a broken record, but this little press build, it was very different to have like so many one-shots happening with all the AA pieces, so I definitely still wasn't used to it. I'm still not used to it, you can hear. I'm like, oh my god, the F-15 just died. Those S-300s, they're very dangerous. Anyway, we drop in with really everything we need except for heavy AT, which is less super essential in the early rollout because enemy tanks won't be here yet, as long as I bring it in after. I've got some supplies to fall back to at a decently safe position, as long as it doesn't get artillery or airstriked here. So as long as it doesn't get spotted, basically. I've got some Rangers for general infantry work, Rangers Recon as the recon infantry here, and then STTs as the anti-air unit. You can see some enemy wheeled stuff coming at us. They've taken the E point, they're going to roll out onto the A point soon. I've got a teammate there with Javelin team. Is that a AT Troopers? What team is that? Or is that a Weapons Squad? Might be Weapons Squad, I think. I'm not sure what the other guys there are in the building with them. Some infantry. Now, those are boomerangs, I believe, right? Or K-15 or whatever. I don't know what those things are. I think they're K-15s. They're little wheeled things. They're little menaces. They're quite potent, I find. But they shouldn't stand up to rocket launchers too well. As always, I can never remember exactly what happens in these reviews, but I'm pretty sure we messed these things up. Rangers are going to hop into the buildings. The Rangers have just the one AT launcher, but it's a big one, the Carl Gustavs. I'm not a big fan of the squads that only get one Carl Gustav and they're meant to be like a frontline squad. I guess it's kind of like on the Russian team when you get, like, the squads that only have one RPG launcher. I'm not a fan of them either. The squads that get, like, a whole bunch of AT-4s, the way they ripple fire those off really quickly is quite potent, and your squad can actually get the AT out before they get suppressed or pinned or die. Whereas these squads that only have, like, one Carl Gustav launcher, the launcher isn't that much better than an AT-4. And you often don't even get that many more rounds for it than the AT-4s, I think. I'm not sure. So, it just feels like a straight-up downgrade. Is you fire so much slower when you just have one reloadable Carl Gustav rather than just spamming out all your disposable AT-4s at once. It really makes the squad a lot less potent against vehicles. Little Bird gets away with a cheeky little drop there. Drops the Ranger's Recon a little bit closer to get straight into the fight. Barely gets out because the Iglas shouldn't be able to one-shot it, I think, unless they're like a dead-on. Statistically improbable dead-on hit, I think. The Little Bird's usually going to get away with, like, 1 HP left. Speaking of Little Birds, bringing in one there just to do some light attack with the FFARs on that Special Forces Russian squad over on BSSO. Those are the guys with the thermobarics, so you got to watch out for them. I don't think I was used to that yet, but I know now in hindsight, those guys will, like, wargame you. They'll do the thermobaric launcher shit on you. Spetsnaz GRU on the right are fucking up my teammates' units. Along with that, I think another SSO and then K-15 or something. And then I brought this killer egg over here, I remember this, and I don't think I'd resupplied it fully, so I just come over here and like, oh, I'll fire FFARs down the road and get that BTR. Unfortunately, a couple of bad things happened. For one, I didn't have any ammo, of course, so that was a bit of a blunder. So then the Little Bird ends up going down the road to try and engage with guns on the BTR, which gets it killed. Not good. Also, the rockets did, like, nothing at that range, which is interesting. Maybe they were just inaccurate there. I got my Rangers Recon on the building there, who are catching the Spetsnaz GRU, though. A lot's happening here really quickly, actually. Rangers Recon takes out the enemy BTR with their Carl Gustav. And it starts messing up that Spetsnaz GRU, which was already a bit hurt and suppressed and pinned. So they finish it off. Rangers Recon also only have one Carl Gustav, but I don't mind it as much there because, like, I'm not bringing them to be super good AT. The fact that they have AT at all is good. Oh, in that loadout, actually, do they just have AT-4s? Oh, they do! Even better! Yeah, so Rangers Recon in the Door Kickers loadout just comes with 4 AT-4s. Even better. Wow, I thought they only had one. I guess that's in their normal loadout. They only have one Carl Gustav. That's actually really cool. They really have it all. Rangers Recon really has it all. Speaking of units that have it all, well, Delta isn't that, but Delta has it all when it comes to doing one thing, which is killing infantry. Chasing down this wounded Spetsnaz GRU. Just running through the buildings after them like the Punisher going, ugh! Unfortunately, a lot of shit there. 2 Metastrelki, 1 SSO on the right, half health, and a K-15 on the left there. So we pull back the Delta quickly. It's kind of like the opposite of one of my earlier matches I reviewed at the start of this series, where I'm actually getting the Delta back fast enough there to not let it get killed by 4 units at once. Even so, even with quick reactions, we still lose 3 guys there, which isn't ideal. And then we've got more units coming in. My Rangers Recon is attacking that SSO from the woods there, finishing them off. Rangers Recon is, I think, my favorite unit in the game now. They're so good. Unfortunately, the Black Beret is coming on from the side there, and unsuppressed, unpinned, and with way more guys, they quickly start whittling down the Rangers Recon. But you can see the effect there of how when you're suppressed or pinned, you take less damage in this game. Or as an infantry, I guess. I've heard this, but I never remember it. But apparently when you're suppressed or pinned as infantry, like, it simulates you being in cover in the sense that you take less damage. So you can see the Rangers Recon, if you were paying attention, they started taking a lot of damage, and then they, like, came good and, like, stopped taking so much, which is nice. Unfortunately, I lose a unit there. I didn't actually see what the unit was that died. Was it a Delta? Was it something else? I lost something. That might have been a Rangers. This might have been an STT. That goes down, and then the Rangers Roll almost dies as well. Those Black Berets are pretty scary. They must have some kind of, like, HE weapon they were using on me, because I was losing huge chunks of my unit all at once there, like, very quickly. I think I've got friendly artillery coming in there. I haven't got my artillery here yet, I don't think. Which is one thing I've been a little naughty about here. After, finally, it's artillery time. I'm not getting it in just yet, but I believe I do get it in later. Enemies putting in artillery too. They're napalming a little bit of the trees, but mainly napalming that building is where they targeted. My Rangers Raws is probing ahead here, which it shouldn't be doing. I think I've just got all the units, like, kind of A-moving right now. Just everybody moving forward. Here's my artillery. Which I shouldn't be doing. Rangers Raws should not be probing. In fact, really, That's one thing in hindsight that I see about the way I play this match and others, is I need cheaper units that I can just send in as the sacrificial lamb unit, or I need to be using more recon in front. I did end up kind of like cheating on that and using that by default later on, because I ended up, after this match, I think I just really decided I didn't like the Rangers unit much. I just ended up using Rangers recon way more. And so in the end it didn't matter, because all these units that are probing now eventually became Rangers recon probing. But that said, in the future, I think I'd like to... They're wiping out that Black Beret, nice. Altogether, all those 3 units. In the future, I think I'd like to try, like, if I play SOF Armored, you know, use more mech infantry as cheap probing units. Hello, Delta Force, ready in on these 9 special forces over here. Space Lance GRU and 1 guy in the SSO squad. Watch how fast this melts. Oh, I love Delta Squad. Look at that. Delta Squad, also one of my favorite units. Delta Force, sorry. Also one of my new favorite units. We barely get a Rangers Recon out there. Gonna send in the resupply and get him back into the fight. That Delta's now a Trident and also needs to head back. The great thing about SOF Infantry, well, one of the great things about SOF Infantry, not all of them, but the best ones, is how quick the sprint cooldown is. I used sprint cooldown to get on that building about 30 seconds ago. Sprint cooldown is halved on close quarters special forces units. So that Delta only had to wait 30 seconds and could sprint again. So that lets them already start running back for the supply dump. Nice and quick. And of course, because sprint cancels the movement penalty from... Ooh! Get away from the supply dump! Get away from the dump! Because it also cancels the movement slow debuff from being panicked or suppressed, it's a great thing to have all the time to get yourself out of trouble. It can be the difference between dying or living a lot of the time. And it's also just great to spam in general. As I started to get more used to the SOF... the SOF infantry, I was able to just start spamming that stuff just on the move, just traveling, because it's always up. It makes you a lot quicker over open ground when you're getting somewhere, which is really nice. I think that's great. I think it's great that Special Forces infantry, like, actually has that feeling of being faster on the ground, like quicker mobility, hit and run. It's great. STT's up front there, which is not where they want to be. STT is more of a mid-range squad. I brought my artillery in now, though. I've got my Brutuses. And you can see I'm queuing up from shoot and scoot, so I'm shooting now, and then I'm holding down shift to queue it up. I'm going to move and then fire on them again. Move, then fire on them again. Hopefully I've made sure that I'm on the short salvo, otherwise I'll be there too long and I'll get counter-batteried. Yeah, see, fire 3 shots and it already start moving. I'm resupplying right away, I think, which is a mistake. I don't need to do that right away. But we're just putting some fire into that unit that messed me up a little bit, messed those STTs up. I've once again got the Rangers rolls pushing forward there in the woods, Rangers Moors. I'm not sure if it's even I consciously want to probe with Rangers Moors, because that would be a silly idea, or more that I'm just trying to spread my units out, because I feel really anxious about being this clustered. Like, I feel like any minute they're going to napalm or bomb me again. I'm going to be like, oh no, everything's dead. So I'm probably just trying to, like, get space with my units, but then again, I mean, it does kind of look like my Rangers Moors is just, like, pushing up, like, really far, so I don't know why I'm doing that. That's silly. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, this is fine. It's like, no, now your Rangers rolls as a Trident, and that's an AT unit. Like, sure, it can kill the enemy. It can fight enemy infantry, but why do it? Like, that's a bit silly. Need to bring them back. Bringing in some more supplies. I'm feeling a bit more bold with my drops here. You can see I'm dropping over the tree line again. Getting more units in. Bringing in some more Rangers Recon. I think you can kind of see the wheels turning in my head, like, literally in this match. I'm like, oh, this Rangers Recon unit is pretty good. I'm going to get more of it. And also, like, I need more Recon units to probe with. Just bringing in, like, drops of, like, 2 of them at once. Oh, I like this unit. You can see me, like, doing it this match. Friendly artillery is taking out an enemy attack, or softening up an enemy attack over on the left. I don't think that's mine. Might be mine. It's coming from the same direction. Wasn't paying attention. Oh, look at all the enemies in there. I see that 20 stack of Marine infantry. I'm like, I need to bomb that. I was going to bring in a Lancer there, but I was going to bring in then an F-15 instead, so I can strike the enemy vehicles too. But then they get out of the building, so I'm like, alright, don't do that. No point, too late. I could still run like a bomb line up the back there. I definitely could. Like, look at all those targets, but I'm a bit busy managing my infantry right now, so I'm not really thinking about it. We've had some probing infantry fights so far, but I'm like having a proper battle here now, where I'm trying to, like, push up on a line, getting airborne on those buildings, trying to make a bit of space for myself. Again, I don't want to be so clustered in the woods, so I'm trying to, like, make some space, make some room. Delta Force and Rangers Recon obliterate that motor Shulky without even taking a shot in return. Delta gets really hit hard there, though. All it takes, as you can see, is, like, 1 or 2 seconds of being in view of, like, enough enemy units. I guess if you count air time, like, 3 or 4 seconds, and you can just, like, completely get a unit fucked up, and now has to go back to base and resupply again. Or back to supply dump and resupply again. My airborne was up ahead of everyone else there. Bad timing, so they get hurt on their own fighting a bunch of Russian infantry at once. We'll get back to that though, because I am bringing in the Strike Eagle bombing run now. Trying to hit those vehicles, and I've got a combined load here. I've got HE as well, so I'm also trying to hit that infantry team, and then I see this AGL team as well, so I'm going to try to hit them too. I think I need to move my infantry. No, it's friendly Delta Force that's getting grenade launched right now. I brought up a supply dump a bit closer there, too, of my helicopters. Just trying to be a little bit quicker here. No, I split all that up, but bam, one shot again by those favorites, those S300s, man. Those S300s are, they're out here doing it. Maybe I gotta use like F-15Xs or something for the better ECM, but then those things are more expensive, and also they don't have dumb bombs. I think really it's just that AA is doing its job of AA in the area. It stands for anti-aircraft Beagle. They're going to kill your planes. That's what they do. It's like Beagle flies a bombing run in a contested airspace with anti-air up and watching. He's like, oh, the anti-air missile, I didn't take it in a non-critical area, blew my plane up, this is bullshit. But again, it's just that thing of me like not being used to the one-shots in this game, as the game generally doesn't do it. So it's like, gonna get used to that war game feeling again. Of being able to get one-shot a lot, be more careful. Rangers rolls on the left here. Fighting, I don't know if you called it, I called it at the end there, fighting that Barbarous or that Terminator. I think it was a Terminator. The Rangers Moz does almost die, but the thing to note is that the Terminator also... Oh, the cruise missiles. The Terminator also nearly got killed there. Well, it got down to half. It didn't nearly get killed. Like, it would have beaten us probably, but I don't know. Like, it had to smoke. Like, in the end, their unit smoked and ran away, not ours. So, Rangers Moz doing its job there, being able to, like, one-on-one one of the hardest infantry killing vehicles in the game, I think. 3 rocket launchers. I love that unit. It's a great AT unit. Unfortunately, you can see that cruise missiles come in from the enemy, and they end up killing the very low health Rangers Recon, which I think was also getting killed by a Russian Special Forces. Finishes off that Rangers Moors unit, and then tries to hit me on the right as well. They're trying to do that Russian thing. They're doing that thing where they've probably got the helicopters loitering, and they're just spamming those cruise missiles in. You gotta watch out for that. Especially because we don't have our own AA up right now to intercept them. It's gonna be very effective. And my boy wants food. Hold on. Here you go. Every 20 minutes he wants to eat. Here you go. He can't just eat all at once. He has to have snacks. I lose a helicopter there, trying to bring up an even more risky drop. But maybe this one I get away with it. Let's see. You don't join SOAR to do normal flying. No, not in Broken Arrow. You join SOAR if you're here to do some crazy shit. I think we're getting away with it. That's a nice little supply drop, right? I'm like talking to you guys. I'm like, am I right? Like, buff me up here. It's good, right? Like, no, it's just, it's nice to do if you can get away with, right? Like, if you can sneak these Blackhawks of stealth and ECM in and get away with a drop like that, it's a lot quicker now for my infantry to resupply it unless it gets bombed. It might just get bombed. Trying to rematch here against the Terminator 2. It's running away again. It's afraid. What was I going to say? I forget. Oh, I lost another helicopter. That one went down as well. I didn't even see what got the one behind me. The Brutuses aren't super on, like, firing all the time this match, but also, like, there isn't super a lot of shit to fight right now for the Brutuses. Not a lot of static targets. I forget what else I was going to say about SOAR, but basically SOAR good. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that really, I need to have supply trucks. I just called one in. There it is. Really, something I should be doing here to be more efficient is having the presence of mind to go, actually, supply trucks would be a lot easier way to deliver supplies at the front here, rather than doing these, like, insane Black Hawk drops. However, the Black Hawk drop did work. But I need to just, like, airlift in some supply trucks via Chinook, or even Black Hawk, drop them off and just let them start ferrying supplies up from the main dump. That said, things are going pretty alright here. You know, can always play better, but things are going pretty reasonably here. My team is doing great. I'm doing just fine with them. I wouldn't say we've really had too many decisive engagements with the Russians this match. I think my teammate on the left flank has been doing a lot of that, while my teammate on my right here on this left side of the airport has been, like, tanking a bit more of the brunt of the enemy firepower for me in my engagements on the right, at least early on. Getting our Brutus back into another target there. Don't use a resupply between every shot, Beagle. Stop doing that. Whereas I've been getting to do, I think, what made me finally fall in love with and click with SOF here, which is just getting to do a lot of, like, lopsided ambush engagements where I get a lot of advantages like this. Delta just comes up on a motor shulky by itself. Nyeh, gone. It's like a buzzsaw sound, like a chainsaw just going, nyeh. Angle grinder, just circular sword, just ripping through the motor shulky squad. I do love it. Delta is the best CQB infantry in the game, and it's not close. I don't know who competes with them, maybe Marine Raiders, but Delta's still better than Marine Raiders at close quarters. Marine Raiders is also really good, though, so I don't know actually if it would be close. I think Marine Raiders would beat Delta at like 200 meters, because they're a bit longer ranged. So they would beat, there would be a certain medium range where Marine Raiders beats Delta. Oh, the cruise missiles. No, those are the Lemurs, actually. Those are the HE rockets, whatever they are. They're actually correcting to hit the Delta. Delta's got to get out of there. But at point blank, Delta just seems to be the best CQB infantry in the game. They just melt. They just melt everyone. They're so good. But they got to get out of there now, because being the best CQB infantry eater doesn't mean that they can, you know, do everything. They move into the building there, and like every other infantry unit, a couple of BTRs or something sees them for a little bit. They get hit by a few missiles. It's like, okay, time to get back to base. But the fact that they've got so many people, the fact that they've got 12 soldiers, means that they really can, you know, last for a while, just like those Marine Raiders. That is something else. Marine Raiders has it. They have a few more guys. Rangers roars in the open there on the road, gets killed by the Terminator before it can really do anything. Again, you kind of see what makes not just SOF, but all combat in this game work best, which is getting your first shot in ambushes versus not. And Delta's going to get caught, then shot through the woods, unfortunately, so they get killed by the Terminator. But you can see the difference of, like, my Ranger's roars there, Ranger's Maws, happens to be crossing the street and gets caught by the Terminator in the tank, and just really gets killed before they can do anything back. Put some artillery from my Brutuses back onto the E-point buildings. Trying to soften them up before we go back in there. I think my Rangers Recon was able to fight off the enemy SF squad there a bit too. The SSO or whatever they were, but has to fall back now. But at this point, like, it's pretty sewn up, right? Like, we have almost all the caps in the game. We're about to take the second last cap in the game. And, you know, we're just getting into phase 2. Like, it kind of just feels like this is the point where the game should really be starting. But we're dominant on the left flank right now. I'm going to send up these Rangers Recon to probe a bit more. I'm just playing the same game of resupplying my units and cycling them back in. You know, these Green Berets I forgot about all game, they're finally moving up again. Really, you're just getting to see how good these SOF squads can go in their, like, engagements. If they get the engagement they want. Like, any engagement where Delta and Rangers Recon have been, like, ambushing, they've been tending to clean up. Delta especially, if they get in close and ambush, it's just over for the enemy. Infantry, that is. Rangers Maws has had a couple of good engagements as well, or at least one on that Terminator. And we're just running out of enemy targets at this point. We just need more stuff to kill. Which, you know, they're trying to push in with a lot of stuff consistently, but they never pushed in with, like, that overwhelming force that's been able to dislodge me or push me back. And when I say me, I mean, I should say us, because it's been a three-person fight. That is the pro, again, of them compressing the points and compressing these maps, is you do get to see a lot more team play like this. Maybe not, like, intentional team play from me, but just we're operating in the same area. It's like social, organic team play, but we're not really, like, team working more than that. So you do, I do like both styles of game. Oh, I do like when you get to play on your own a bit as well. Rangers Recon has the smoke there. Those Black Berets are hurting my Rangers Roars, who also have the smoke. And Deltas, I see that, I've, like, got the taste now with Delta Force for blood. I'm like, okay, you see a unit, you just rush Delta Force at them. And yeah, like, sudden death on the right flank as well. We've, our team is completely capped. All of those points. Just across the airstrip. Delta is going to get onto those Black Berets, just mop them up. Finish them off. It's kind of all sewn up, right? That's the thing. We've got a complete wipeout on the right side. Complete control on the left side. We're holding ahead of the points even. Even on their natural E point. And, you know, not to spoil things, guys, but that's it. Not to spoil things, but to completely spoil things. There is no comeback here. There is no comeback. You're looking at the last minute of the game. It's a quick one. This is the first match to end in sudden death. I think it might be... I think it's the only match to end in sudden death. Specifically of the press nights. And it's just like that. They're just done. It's honestly over so quick that I'm struggling to think of what else to say about this match in review. Apart from look at the SOF units. That's really what you're getting out of this video, I think, is take a good look at the SOF units. And look how damn good they are. Here, you pop smoke there, so the other units can't hit me, so it's just 1v1 here. Delta v the Marines, Russian Marines. Which works out way better for us. Win that fight easy, bye-bye. Delta's so good, even with 6 guys. Rangers Recon, fucking out those Marines, though they are getting hit by the marksman rifles. Delta comes in, starts eating them too. You see a Terminator the last 30 seconds of the match. And you smoke and run away. That's that, man. The match is over. We have 21 minutes left of the game. It happens, hey. You do have matches where it's just a blowout like that. Both for and against you. Makes for a smaller upload for you guys today. Sorry about that for those who want those full 50 minutes. But that is how the match went. Extremely good time for us on our team. And I think my team with NBK and that on my team, I definitely had some very strong players as well to help me do that, you can tell. I think that probably in the team balancing and the elos and stuff, we probably had a bit of an advantage there. In being able to crump both sides of the map at once in very short order. But generally, yeah, folk not worrying about the match itself and match overall and my team, just on my side of things, I got to, sorry, for the first time with this match, see how good SOF infantry could be, get that first taste of the potency of them. Let me pause my playback here. So that's really the big takeaway for me from this match. Is I kind of fell in love with a lot of the infantry from SOF there. I fell in love with Delta, fell in love with Rangers Recon. Rangers Mors, yeah, pretty good. They had that one engagement with the Terminator that really convinced me of their use as well. I mean, I already thought Rangers Mors was good for my first match in this series. But definitely seeing them be able to, like, one-on-one the Terminator felt pretty good. Like, yeah, the Rangers Mors had less health by the end of it, but they had managed to panic, or at least suppress. They had managed to fuck up that Terminator. The Terminator had, like, all the malfunctions on it. And the Terminator player decided to smoke and get out of there. Considering the cost effectiveness, because I think the Terminator is... I don't know, I actually can't make this comparison. I don't know, but I'm sure the Terminator is at least 200, right? For what it does. Because it's quite tanky and it's quite loaded up. Maybe it's under 200, maybe I'm stupid. But I think it's probably at least 200, right? Considering how quickly that one, like... What's a Ranger's Mors? 90, 100? How quickly that unit was able to, despite being way cheaper, kind of go toe-to-toe with that Terminator on its own. Pretty good. And the fact that you can see with the Rangers Mors how easily they could ignore APS systems, ATM machine, APS system, active protection systems, shows their value there as well, where it's not just bullying light vehicles. Like, they can take out the toughest shit in the game, because the way they ripple fire the 3 Carl Gustavs all the time means that it's not like APS is stopping the damage, it's just stopping one of the 3 launchers and then the other 2 hit. It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good unit. And the Rangers Recon are just an incredible unit because they are really potent anti-infantry. They're like Forcon Black Ops on steroids, which I love. And then the Delta Force are just insanely good. Oh, my boy. My cat's doing a little wheezy. Poor boy, you okay? Yeah, look after my boy. I just split the recording because my poor boy, my poor cat was wheezing, so I'm just gonna split the recording and have another crack at it here to finish this video off. Anyway, looking at it, I mean, what's obvious? What is obvious to say? What's obvious to say is that SOF infantry is actually really good. This was the match where I finally clicked with them, where I was like, oh my god, SOF infantry is actually so good. The combination of high speed sprint cooldown, faster sprint speed cooldown combined with stealth, good optics, really good combat power, even on your recon units. Very min-maxed combat power as well, where you've got like the best CQB infantry in the game multiple times with Rangers Recon and Delta Force. And then you've got the best, well, some of the best long-range infantry with like the STT team has some of the best long-range infantry power in the game, like an airborne squad, I think. Not all the way up to full marksman squad, but just like long-range rifles, like the airborne squad. They got those 6mm rifles. You got like the best close-range AT with Rangers Mors. You've just got really good units, right? So that's obviously really good. Played in the right environment, like played in close quarters where you're always ambushing and getting those first shots, you're going to do great, right? Because you're a bit fragile. A lot of your squads don't have a lot of guys in it, don't have a lot of health. But as long as you're in the woods, your stealth and optics advantage means you're always going to see units bigger than you first, and any units smaller than you or same size as you, you're going to melt with Rangers Recon and Delta Force, no problem. Infantry, that is. Any vehicle, you're going to be able to melt with Rangers Moors. So you don't want to be playing in the open. You want to be playing as hit and run, sneaky, stealthy, and fast and mobile as you can with these infantry, which, hey, kind of makes sense, right? Definitely I can see in hindsight how I'd like to pair them more with mechanized infantry, just so that I can have a cheaper, more thoughtless, cost-effective unit that I can just throw in as like, okay, let's just send some mech infantry through here and see what happens. And if I get shot at, okay, send the special forces infantry there. Just something cheap and forgettable, like a mech infantry, that has its value in being so cheap and forgettable. Would be useful, because obviously the ideal is you're pushing with your stealthy recon always and just seeing the enemy first. But sometimes, especially when you're doing building fighting, you can't always guarantee you'll see the enemy first, and sometimes you just got to send like a mech infantry in and be like, hey, what's in that building? What's in that block of buildings? Oh, you found out. Thanks. You're on one guy now, or you're dead now. But now Delta Force can go kill that enemy ambush that was waiting for them, so that's good. So that's the obvious stuff anyway, is that SOF is really good, and I finally clicked with it here, and I think like the next 3 or 4 matches in a row, I just played lots of SOF. Really got into them. Can't wait to play more of them on release. That said, what's less obvious that we can take from this match? Because it was a quick match, it was like half the normal length. But let's not just like move on instantly and be like, okay, well, my team messed them up and that happens sometimes. What else can we take away from this to be insightful? Let's try. Well, what could I have done better on my side? I definitely noticed some more mistakes that I still needed to be patching up in this match, despite how well my team did. For instance, probing with just all the infantry thrown at the wall there, where I had like Rangers Moors moving up. Okay, bad. It's not just the obvious thing of like don't probe with an AT unit and probe with recon, unless there's vehicles, then probe with an AT unit. But it's also just like, I think going back to the point from before about mech infantry, it would be good to have cheaper units there to probe with as well. Not just Rangers Recon, but also some cheaper units that are like there of the Rangers Recon and also being part of my front line, because with how the first shot ambushes go, you just don't want your best units to be on the front line in a situation like that. You want your best units to be... You don't want them to be waiting and seeing. You don't want to be just be like seeing what's going on. Your best unit should be deployed with a goal. It should be like, there's an enemy there, I want you to go there and kill that enemy. I've been thinking about this more lately, and this is a good time to bring it up, that overall in Doctrine, I should be striving, or I should try this as a Doctrine, I should be striving to use cheap units on defense and expensive units on offense. Because everything dies the same to fire support. Like, artillery and airstrikes will kill anything, whether it's a 100-point Delta or a 50-point mech infantry. It's going to fuck those guys up really hard. And even if the Delta lives because they have more guys, the Delta will need to go and resupply before you want to fight with them again. So everything can be neutralized, let's say, rather than killed by, one artillery or bomb strike. So that's one reason you don't want your expensive units just sitting around on defense, or just sitting around at the edge of your perimeter. 2, you don't need to, right? Like, you want to have your defensive line. Your defensive line, if the enemy knows it's there, is either going to get first shot advantage of ambushes, in which case, you don't need to have your most expensive unit there, because a mech infantry can pin some Motostrelki and, mess up its attack as long as they get the ambush and they're in building cover or whatever, if they're in a favorable position. I'm kind of losing the plot of my point because it's getting like wound around in my head, but basically the point is that I think I'm going to try to more disciplined-wise, more like strictly, try to make sure that my best, more potent units are being held back from any way they could possibly be in danger, even if it's just like 300 meters behind the mech infantry or recon perimeter. And I'm never probing with them, because as soon as you run into one wrong ambush where your Delta, even your Delta Force just happens to be caught at 300 meters by a Motostrelki, and a Motostrelki grenade launches them, and now they've got 3 guys who are dead in Delta, you only have 9 guys, they're panicked, and they have to sprint away and smoke. It's like, that's not what you want to do with Delta. You want your top units to be tip-top shape, go in there, get the job done, and leave. So I'm going to try to do that more. It's going to try to be more like, okay, these units never are at the tip of the spear. And if I don't have enough units on the tip of the spear in front of them, so I feel tempted to use them, it's like, that's a problem strategically and macro-wise. I need to have more options there. a better force comp, where I have more units I'm willing to just kind of send in. Rangers Recon, Mech Infantry, those kinds of units, those two styles of probing. That's the kind of stuff I need to know where the enemy is before I send in a strong unit. Basically, babysit my carries until they've got to their kill, feed them the kills, and then get them out of there. That's what I could have been doing better there in that sense. In another way also, didn't bring in supply trucks fast enough. Could have had a lot better supplies going up and down the forest there earlier. Anything else that I can think of? There's tons of stuff, but like anything I can actually think of here. My artillery could have been cycling faster, but the enemy was getting wiped out pretty quick, so I'm not too worried about that in hindsight. Bombs. I think the other thing is updating the way I play to how much more likely my jets are to get one-shot by enemy AA. The thing is, it was already bad to be letting my jets get hit anyway. You're making a trade, right? Like, maybe it's not bad, but it's not ideal. Because even if your jet gets back to base on 1 HP, it's still not going to be back for ages. Like, damage does make it give you less money back, so it's kind of... and takes longer to respawn. So it is kind of like you lost a unit, just not as bad. When this game comes out, I've got to think more about taking out enemy AA. Like, actually trying to take out enemy AA. Sending in drones, doing siege strikes, doing precision bombing runs, precision bomb drops, and long-range rocket artillery at enemy AA positions is going to be really important. I think I've gotten too used to the F-35 style of just send it, of fuck it, just send the airstrike. Half the time it gets away because it's an F-35, and the other half, you get your bombs off anyway. You know, the AA never stops the bomb strike. But I think it's time to start looking at it a bit differently on release and be like, maybe you shouldn't employ airstrikes unless the trade is really good, unless the enemy AA is taken out. Something to consider. Crazy idea. What if we actually tried to degrade the enemy's AA net? What if we actually tried that before we did airstrikes? Who could say if that could be a good military strategy? I don't know. Other than that, what could the enemy have done better there? Trying to think from their perspective. I think they had that problem too, where their best units were up front, and they didn't really have a lot of tripwires or anything. I don't remember finding a lot of recon. Is SSR recon or SF? I don't remember finding a lot of recon for them. I just remember a lot of a lot of pretty good ambushes for me in the woods, and then they just didn't really have an answer to Delta. Delta was just able to pop out of the woods, mop up all their infantry, and then either die or get away clean most of the time, honestly. I didn't see a lot of vehicles from them, or a lot of, like, strong vehicles. Like, maybe more Terminators, combined arms working to their infantry. If they had the ability to recon me better, they might have been able to call in better artillery. Probably, like, more artillery, more napalm. They napalmed, like, once at the start and then never again. I think more napalm in the woods. They might have just had to make the call that, like, they can't see my units, but they should just go, like, that woods is crawling of SOF, and just, like, napalm all of it. Other than that, I don't know, I think they trickled strategically. I think that I was constantly getting to, like, 1v1, 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 eat a lot of their units with Delta. And on the flip side, it didn't feel like they ever made, like, a big combined push. They probably fell into the trap that I fall into, where they kept sending in reinforcements, but by the time the reinforcements got there, the unit they went to reinforce is dead, and now the reinforcements are now also alone. They probably needed to just stop for, like, 5 minutes, build up some points, and make, like, a combined force push with vehicles and infantry and artillery and recon and everything back onto the point altogether, because my SOF got to do the SOF job of just ambushing and 1v1 trading really well. But honestly, you know, I don't think what I had on the ground there would have stood up to, like, a proper combined arms assault. That's what I'm thinking. Other than that, yeah. You live and learn on both sides, I guess. That's that, really. It was a very fun match to get my lust ignited for SOF infantry, and the next few matches we see are all going to be SOF, because I just wanted to use them more and more. I love those units. They're so good. So I'll see you for more of that soon, really. GG to all players in this one. And I will catch you in the next match, which I think it might be the one on Baltiste again. We'll see which one it is. But I'm looking forward to it either way. So, yeah, that's all there is to say. Hope you enjoyed this one, even though it's a bit shorter than normal. And I will catch you for the next one. Bye, everyone. Have a good one. See ya.